So we're going to look at this hunter deck here, which is a quest deck for Ungoro. And I don't want to play the mid-range hunter because it's just kind of boring. Yes, it does pretty well. It's just a standard aggro deck, but when I play like my Dragon Priest or Control Priest, I pretty much dunk most of these aggro decks. And like I just covered with the Cthulhu deck for the Priest, it's pretty anti-aggro. Since aggro is mostly the meta, you can beat aggro decks. There's ways that you can beat them if you get some decent draw, and you can just totally own them, so like when turn 6 comes around. But I want to play something different, so I want to play the quest deck for the hunter, and we're going to look at a couple quest decks. Then we're going to look at about 5 games of me playing this deck right here. This is a deck I saw on Hearthstone, so I tried to give it a shot. We're just going to look at it briefly here. The Alley Cat, you got 2 Alley Cats, you got 2 Fiery Bats, Jeweled Macaws, Raptor Hatchlings, you got the quest, you got the standard crackling thing, you got the kindly grandmother. Now a few different things that this quest has compared to maybe the other hunter quests. It has Scavenging Hyena, which I have which is a great card to begin with, because whenever you have all these 1-drops, whenever these 1-drops die, as you're going to see in some of these matches, the Scavenging Hyena by like turn 3 can have like +6/+1 by be a 6/4 critter, and then you can buff it later with what is it, the Houndmaster here. So the Houndmaster is a hunter card. You also got Rat Pack, which is a great card. The Tolvar Warden's pretty good if you want to just draw out those 1-drops. It's a decent card. The Tundra Rhino is decent. The Tolvar Warden is okay, but later on, as say you want to get if you're holding on to this and you want to get the it's a 5-drop. That's the problem, so it's kind of expensive. And so say you're on like turn 8, you get the 5-drop, you draw 2 1 cards when you have the quest activated. Well, then you can get more of them, but it doesn't. This card, it seems like it would be good in this deck, but I have mixed feelings. Tundra Rhino is great, but you only have 1 of them in this deck, and they're really good later. They're really a situational card where later you can play all those 1-drops that are 3/2 pets from the quest, but unless you only have 1 of them, so if you play it and it dies or something mid-game, or it's the only card, you just get a bad draw. Savannah Highmane is just a great card in general. It's a part of the mid-range hunter deck. It also has a Death Rattle, Summon to Hyenas. It's really good. Then you got a few more 1-drops and a Cult Master. The Firefly is the best 1-drop for this because you get another 1-drop as well. Let's take a look. Here's the quest. I put it together. That's what we just covered. And also you get Deadly Shot. That's another thing, a part of this quest that I didn't really cover. So that's kind of interesting. I really think that you could probably take out Deadly Shot, to be honest, but I think you put it in there for like late game, so you do a board clear with all your minions, and if you're lucky you get the charge, and there's a big minion out, well boom, you can just randomly kill it, do pretty much 8 damage, 6 to 8 damage with it if you think about it, which is not too bad, and you're back to board control. The weakness of the hunter deck is these guys only have 2 HP, so you can't really buff them well. And I have a feeling, I was looking through this particular deck, and with all the Death Rattle minions, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a N'Zoth hunter. And also you have this, for hunters, you have this Death Rattle effect. Let's take a look at it, a Death Rattle card. So that'll be one of the next ones. It's called Infest. Give your minions Death Rattle, add a random beast to your hand. So think about it, you have a bunch of 1-drops, you play the quest, you put a bunch of 1-drops, and you have Infest out. And with Infest, and also you have like trigger friendly minions Death Rattle, you have actually a lot. Look at all the Death Rattle give minion in your hand +2. The hunter actually has a lot. See, look, give all the Death Rattle minions in your hand +1. I think there's a way to build a N'Zoth deck, and it just hasn't been made yet, because most hunters are just going super aggro, and they want to go with this mid-range hunter deck, which I have here, which I can show you real quick. And it's also in Hearthstone, you can see. And this is just a standard. You see this has a decent amount of 1-drops, has a great curve. It doesn't have too many elite minions. You got a bow to do some decent, damage whenever secret's revealed, so you can kind of fight mages and things, and other paladins maybe, I guess. And you have Animal Companion. The other quest we're going to look at real quick as a comparison. This is Kriparian's hunter that he made a while back. The difference is a few key cards that I think this deck that I'm going to show you is missing is Stampede. Just one Stampede is enough. Each time you play a beast this turn, you add a random beast to your hand, so later on you can play when you have like very high mana, you have the quest complete, you're on turn like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that. You're drawing out all these cards. Well, as you're drawing a card, you're also adding, you almost can get a whole full hand of cards then. And that's fantastic because you don't want to keep drawing out your deck, because there's ways to actually completely draw out your deck with this. This deck also uses 2 Cult Masters. One card that this other deck is missing is a Starving Buzzer. Whenever you summon a beast, draw cards. This is a great way to keep pushing the tempo up. And also has 2 Tundra Rhinos. I think I could rebuild this deck a little better. I probably would drop the Tolver Wardens. It just doesn't seem like a great card to have. I would actually use less 1-drops and just go from just see what happens. But I think there's a way to build a N'Zoth deck. So I hope you guys enjoy some of these games. There's going to be about 5 games or so, and I'll do some commentary over them. So I see how the best 1-drop here is the Firefly. I want to mulligan out the 6-drop though, because that's what you do. I end up getting Rat Pack instead. I'm fighting a Warlock. And see, I get the 5-drop there. That's what I'm talking about. It's like you can probably get rid of that card in a way, because now I have to wait till turn 5 to get it, so it's just a bad draw. I play 1 draw. I play my quest on the first turn. I'm going first. The Warlock seems to be playing a Zoolock, but he's got a bad 1 draw there. I want to play out the 2 there, damage minion instead of the other one. It's okay. Ends up killing it though with Death Coil. It's fine. So he ends up getting a pretty good start here. I want to play my 3-drop there. The Rats. And he goes in for face damage, which I think is a mistake, because now I can buff that card with the Houndmaster. That's okay, since he's playing a Zoolock, typically they want to do this face damage. So it's okay, I just swap out that, now he's in trouble. And when they play that Delvosaur Egg, they're looking to buff it somehow or destroy it with a Doom or something. So he plays Dirty Rat because he's just drawing. He doesn't have very many minions. He doesn't get any discards. So that was his other card in his hand. And you see now I have 4 rats on the board. So that's where the synergy with the Houndmaster comes in. So I'm just doing a board clear. I'm not going to destroy that 1 minion. But I think later on this match you're going to see me. I'm playing my 1-drop there just to complete the quest. And I have to be able to buff it. I want to buff the Houndmaster, but it's not a beast. So I can buff the rats or the guys here. And I want to summon 2 plants. So I just want to overwhelm my opponent, so I usually pick the summon 2 plants. Wind Fury is obviously the best one, but you don't get it every time. Plays a taunt minion, I have to kill it. So I could play Deadly Shot here. So that's the problem with drawing Deadly Shot. Is you can see here he has a really high level minion up, so I have to waste some guys here to destroy it because I don't want to play Deadly Shot and get another 5/5 minion on the board when he's struggling. I just have board control. And this is sort of like a mid-range, same feeling as a mid-range hunter, except for I have a quest. And my Warlock guy is misdrawn. I'm only at 4 though, and the match is pretty much over. Because he's got no board clears, he doesn't have Hellfire, he's drawing minions late, so the game's over. So I end up getting Jewel Macaw here, and I mulligan the other one. I get Cult Master. Fighting a rogue here. This is, what type of rogue is this? This was like, it wasn't a quest rogue. It's a funny, kind of a funny rogue. It's kind of like a Jade Rogue or something. Again, when I'm trying out new decks, I try to play casual, so I try to figure out if the deck's going to work. I play the 2 1-drops that I have. And look at that, I draw Scavenging Hyena. I also draw that 5-drop. I actually do have that Hydra crafted, so I could actually play that if I wanted to. It's just not a great card. Works really well with Silence Priest, but so I want to play. I think I get greedy and I play the Hyena. Nope, I don't. I want to just buff that card, give it +3 health. So I don't want him to just I play Wind Fury, he destroys it, or he'll attack it with his rogue ability. So yeah, he's playing like an older Jade deck, which again is not very good. Yeah, it's surprisingly how bad Jade has become. So now I can play a Hyena, but since I can play the Hyena, it's pretty much my only drop. I play the Hyena, but it's not great, is what I'm trying to say. And I could have played the Cult Master, but again, that would have been even a worse draw to do. I'm just trying to fight for board control. And then he draws his legendary minion, so it's kind of like a Miracle Jade Rogue. That's what he's trying to play. So it is a legitimate deck. This is a rank, like people play this as a ranked deck. Usually since he has 1 minion on the board now, I just kill that. And you can see I've gotten a lot of value out of that Alley Cat. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I do a misplay there because I could have played the Cult Master and drew an extra card because remember I lost another minion there earlier. So that was a misplay. So I played the Cult Master late. So I should have took my time a little bit more on that and figured it out. But I'm just trying to figure out the deck in general. Remember, that's the only Cult Master I have. So he's going to just straight up kill it. Because the Cult Master is really powerful. Now I'm going to play both these cards right here. And I just kind of... I think I try to kill this minion. I just fight for board control with the 1-drops, I think. And then... he's just having a hard time. So now I have an 8-man, I have a really high damage card on it. He's trying his best. I mean, like, he's trying to activate that other minion, but you have to play 4 cards, and sometimes that's not as easy as you think, especially if you don't have the coin in your hand or a way to dupe it. So this is where a case where the Tolver's fantastic because now it draws 2. We're on turn 7, and I mean, you can't imagine it's like a better drop. I was thinking about, should I do damage or what do I want to do? I knew I was 1 minion away from drawing the queen, so the question of it is kill that. Yeah, I take some damage. It's not a big deal since I'm so far ahead. So I'm just doing, maybe I don't need the board clear, but I do it anyways, and I make way for this other minion. So now I can get the quest finally out. But see, the problem with this, as you can tell with this deck, is it takes a long time to get the quest out. So my deck should be a lot stronger, in my opinion, if I'm getting the quest out late game like that, why not take advantage of, playing a longer mid-range or late game hunter deck. That's the problem, as you can tell. And see, I'm missing Stampede. I'm missing a few really key cards with this deck to really make it powerful. I'm just trading because I want board control. And the Hunter ability is really powerful. Now he's going to do a Shiv. He's going to do some damage on that 1 minion. So it's going to hurt my character every time he's hitting it for like 1 damage, which is what you want to do when the Hydra's on the board like this. And I have no way to silence it or anything like that. Draws a Mimic Pot. He still seems like he's drawing pretty weak, and I still... Yeah, see, the game's kind of over. My 1 big minion's still on the board, so he had no way to really destroy it. And since he wasted, earlier, he wasted that 5 damage on the Cult Master. He kind of wasted it. So here we go again. We're playing against a Druid. And I get a really good draw, so you can see the curve here is really good. I have a 1, 2, and a 3 drop. That's just fantastic. Whenever I have a 1 drop in my hand, when I'm playing the quest, I always coin. I do Alley Cat because it's just the strongest one, because I could draw the Crackling Dinosaur and buff a Survivor. Yes, he can kill one of them, but that's not a big deal. Yep, that's the best play. I don't have 2 1-drops, so the Houndmaster pulled up. So if I would have drawn 2 1-drops, I would have played both the 1-drops instead. This one came out. Now if I draw the the Hyena, which I just did, now you can see like he made a mistake because he played a 3-drop and he couldn't like attack my 1 minion. So this game is, like you can see now with that minion, I'm able to play a nice nasty 1-drop and the game's over. He recognizes, like, that's how quick sometimes, that's the power of the Hyena that a lot of people don't understand, especially if they don't have a way to counter it. But I'm playing against another Hunter now, and this Hunter ends up getting really lucky against me. So you can see this deck is actually doing a lot better than I thought it would do. I was rewatching some of the older footage. It probably has like a probably about a 60% win rate, just because of the aggro nature of the Hunter and some of the cheeseball cards. But one of the strengths of this deck is that Hyena. I've won a few games just because of it, and with all the 1-drops that you can end up doing. I want to Death Rattle summon 1 plants. I'm really inspired actually now to build an Azoth Hunter deck to see how it works because of all the Death Rattle stuff that they have. You're going to see, yeah, see he gets 2 really lucky Unleash the Hounds, and that's how I end up losing the game. So imagine instead of me choosing the 1-drops there, and he trades, which is fine. I haven't even played the quest because I don't have any. I just draw the first 1-drop, but there's no reason for me to play it because I don't have a lot of 1-drops, so I'm really waiting to get to turn 5. So I've sort of been outdrawn this game, and you're going to see it because of I'm going to have a loss. And this is great. I can actually do the Houndmaster again, but guess what he draws then? Well, he draws the second Unleash the Hounds on me. He has a Knife Juggler, and then he has Unleash the Hounds, and it's on turn 5. He top deck and he Unleash the Hounds, so he has a nasty combo. And I kind of get frustrated from it, because look at all the extra damage he gets from it. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just insane. Pretty good luck on his part. So I kind of just give up in this match after this point because I'm just like, screw this. I have no way to. I haven't even played my quest. I'm trying to actually. What I want to do is play my quest, and I haven't drawn any 1-drops. I mulligan, didn't get a very good draw, so I just got beat because I got outdrawn. Next match here, we're fighting against a Shaman, and I think it's another case where you see the Hyena, do his job. He just doesn't play enough cards or whatever. It's too late. I start off in like turn 2 here because I didn't. Again, I played the quest on turn 1, didn't have a 1-drop, and I played the. I think I just played the Hound Kindly Grandmother on turn 2. So yes, it's sort of like another Jade Shaman if you want to think about it, which is again pretty bad. So Houndmaster again, the rats to get a massive buff from them. Now the cool thing is if he somehow kills the rats, which he's going to do right here, I can play the Hyena. So if he's just falling into my trap, really, which is great. And he doesn't have enough mana. I'm hoping he draws a totem there, which is great. So I can play the Hyena if I want to. Now I end up losing this match, and the reason why here is he actually draws Jade Lightning, and that's pretty much the only way I would have lost this match. So I end up getting a little greedy. I throw out another Death Rattle minion, and I shoot him in the face. So we're on turn 5. He totems, gets really lucky with the spell damage totem. Now if he didn't draw that totem, he would do 2 to 3 damage. So say he doesn't draw that totem, and he does that attack, and he does a board clear, and you saw I think on the Hyena he only did 3, so it means he would have done 2. My Hyena would have been buffed to like 10, the game would have been over. So again, it's just some of the random luckiness. I kind of misplay here. I should have dropped the Kodo to destroy the spell damage totem, but he doesn't do any damage, so I just shoot him in the face. And I'm just trying to get the quest out. As you can tell, it's just difficult to complete this quest. A lot harder than you would think it to be. I'm not a big fan on that one minion, that the 2/1 minion, and that does 1 damage to each player. I have mixed feelings about it. It's not one of the best 1-drops you can get. So I have to trade. I kind of trade. I realize like I'm in trouble because of that last turn. But I'm still kind of in it. But we're approaching sort of turn 7, and this deck is, you can feel, is just petering out. He ends up playing a top minion, and so the game is kind of approaching. I'm realizing that the game is sort of over, even though he basically got lucky with the that 1 drop. So I draw I have the hyena in my hand, so I should have played it, but I want to get the quest out. I'm assuming it's more of a spell-oriented shaman, or I should have. So yes, I know my 1 minion is going to get hexed eventually, so I can't even kill the 1 taunt minion, and he's got a 7-drop. He's actually he's trading a lot, which is not that great. I mean, just think about if I was playing a stronger deck and we're on turn 8, you know, like my priest deck, you know, this guy would have been like toast. Like my silence priest or even my dragon priest, by turn 3 can have like a 10/10 minion out if it's really lucky. So I finally am able to get the Marsh Queen out. The hyenas in my hand doing nothing. See, we're approaching turn 10, so I mean that N'Zoth idea could work. It's not totally out of the question. And you could get the quest done. So I'm able to finally do a board clear, and so I'm kind of back in control, but my 1 minion's bound to get hexed. I can't destroy the Manatide Totem, which is just like, he's reaping a lot of value from it. Playing a lot of taunt minions in the way. His deck is not that great, but I've been kind of, you know, getting outdrawn. I don't even draw one of the really good draws, so I'm just playing cards as is, and so I have to kind of just go after his minion here, and it's not looking good. And I think I'm going to lose this game. So he plays another big overload minion. Draws the Jades. He's only on 2 Jades. And that's just a lot of shamans are picking up that, even the elemental shaman. But he's actually playing a Jade shaman, which is not that great. I can't, so what happens is I can't get around that taunt minion. I finally am able to draw a card, but I don't have all the synergies of, so I'm actually, you see the quest here kind of getting activated, and so finally I'm drawing the cards, but I didn't draw it last turn, so the game's sort of over. And because I can't get around, I don't have enough damage to kill the 1/7/7 minion, and he has enough damage to do lethal on me, so as you can tell, I can't do it. So the game's over. So I mean, we make it to turn 10, and so that's the problem with playing Hunter in general. Is like if you get to turn 10 and you're not, you know, you're probably gonna lose. So we're gonna see, I think, another game. We're pretty much fighting the exact same shaman, but now we have a better starting hand. So some of it's just luck. This game is luck sometimes. End up drawing 2 really good low-level minions out of the Jeweled Macaw. Also, I have the hyena in my hand, and we're going to see a really good synergistic play with the hyena. So we've seen a couple games now where the hyena is just dominated, and that's the strength. That's something that I think the other deck was missing, was the hyena. Now I can battle cry up the hyena. I'm running a risk of it getting hexed, but that's just like, I put my opponent on the draw at that point, you know what I mean? And so now I have an 8/6 minion, and now he's got a, if he doesn't, we're on turn 4 and he's got a hex. So it does feel a lot like a silence priest where you have like a huge minion out early game and he kills it, but like he's at, the game's over. So it's another game where the hyena pulls through. You can see the strength of the hyena. You almost see, like last game, the quest is irrelevant because the hyena just does so much damage. Fighting a priest again, and I think this is another game where the hyena wins. So you have all these like very low level minions, again, carrying you. So the curve here is I don't have any 1-drop, so I do play the quest, but it doesn't really do anything. So again, I think he mistakenly plays that. So look at that, I draw the hyena out again, and now look at this, boom. And the hyena's getting buffed. Now I put it, basically now you have to put your opponent on the draw, and he can't kill a 4-drop as a priest because he does Shadow Word Pain only kills 3 or less, so the 4-drop is the worst for him. So really I'm putting him on a draw for a 5-drop. So then I'm buffing this beast again. I'm actually gonna just trade up, I think. Oh no, I don't. And I'm just destroying him here. So you can see the strength of that hyena is pretty ridiculous. Oh, and I drew on the other hyena. And I want to try to get a really good, I actually should have chosen +3 health, but I just choose poisonous because I want to kill that minion and get around it. Now I have 2 hyenas out. He gets a buff, that's great. So he does 3 damage, I kill it. Works out fantastic. And both my hyenas are getting buffed. This guy's in trouble. So he needs, as a priest, he needs Holy Nova, or he's just playing cards at random because he's struggling. So I just trade up that one. I'll trade that one so I can buff both my hyenas. And oh, it's only when a friendly beast dies, so it actually didn't buff it, but I just trade up anyways. He's in trouble. So I anticipate, we're going on to turn 6, I anticipate a Dragonfire Potion, which is what he does, but I have the Death Rattle minions to finish him off. See this? So I actually have the right amount of Death Rattle minions to finish him off. And that's the end of the game. I hope you enjoyed these games, and like, subscribe, comment on what your opinion of this deck was, and I'll see you guys in the next video.